Hey guys, Abel here, back with another video, and in this video I want to talk about weight regain or body fat regain after a diet. So obviously regaining a bunch of body fat after a diet is pretty tragic, but most people who experience this are not lazy or undisciplined. Most of the time actually they did something very right, at least up to a certain point. They followed a plan, they pushed through hunger, tolerated discomfort for quite a while, they showed restraint and got lean. And then slowly or quickly something down the line just broke down. So in this video I want to talk about why this happens so often and what actually needs to change if you want to avoid this. Because as the cliche says, which cliche actually happens to be true, we don't have a fat loss problem or weight loss problem, we have a maintenance problem, because maintenance is a skill that very few people actually think to train. So one thing that most videos that talk about this topic get right is that they talk about the unsustainability of the diet. And this quickly gets confusing to people, rightfully so, because to some extent we all understand that fat loss is supposed to be hard, and that's true. So hunger and that being a part of a diet is real and normal. Cravings are to some extent real and normal. Lower energy levels to an extent are also normal. So in that sense, if you expect fat loss to be comfortable, you're just setting yourself up to quit early. But then here's the mistake that people make, is that they turn this truth of fat loss is supposed to be hard into fat loss is supposed to be miserable, self-isolating, and life-destroying, or at least it's normal if it's like that. And that's not the case. And so here's the distinction that resolves a lot of this confusion, is that fat loss is controlled hardship. There's a reason that we call it controlled starvation, because I guess that's what it is. Whereas maintenance is supposed to be a sustainable lifestyle. And those two things obviously are not supposed to feel the same. And so with that, the first reason you could experience a big rebound in body fat is that you dieted to a non-maintainable body fat percentage. This is one of the simplest, most straightforward reasons, which is very common. People diet down to a body fat percentage which they can only visit for a brief period, but not live there long term. I wouldn't even necessarily call it a mistake, more so just a noble attempt to reach very high or very low in this case. They pick a body for themselves which looks great on paper, photos, Instagram, reels, but not a body that actually fits their life. And yes, many people can reach these very low body fat percentages that are super impressive, but reaching a certain body fat percentage and maintaining it are two completely different problems. If maintaining your physique requires constant hunger, rigid food rules, social avoidance, living with a narrower mental bandwidth every day, then this physique was never really fit to be your new normal. It's just a temporary project. And when this project ends, then your body is just self-correcting for you basically by protesting and pulling you back. The second major reason for rebounding in body fat is that people push the pendulum too far and for too long. What you need to understand is that when you're dieting for a long time, you're not just losing fat, but you're also accumulating debt. This debt is biological and psychological, and you're also accumulating decision-making fatigue. So biological debt looks like this. You're constantly hungry and even ravenous. You never feel full. You cannot even sleep properly anymore because you're just thinking about food even in your sleep. And you tell yourself that it's fine and it's just a matter of embracing the process. Your legs are heavy and tired nonstop. You're not meeting with people in your social circle anymore. You might even be isolating yourself from your girlfriend or boyfriend, and we rationalize it. Psychological debt would look like constant food obsession, thinking about your next meal and meal ideas all the time. You barely finished with one meal and you're already counting down the seconds until your next one. And then there's decision fatigue, which would look like this. You're constantly making decisions about your own meals and how they will look like, how they will be composed, how you will manage upcoming social situations. And a lot of these things are fine for a temporary period, and in isolation none of these things are a big deal, but they add up, they accumulate over time. And that's why the debt terminology is good here, even though I hate to say it because it's annoying to pronounce, because when that debt finally comes due, it doesn't come back gently, but it comes back fast, aggressively, and loud. allowed. So what to actually do with that information practically? During most fat loss diets, and for most people, luckily this only happens once they reach a fairly impressive level of leanness already, progress will slow down considerably, but the costs that you need to pay for keeping that progress up becomes disproportional. It keeps rising and keeps escalating, and it just becomes a non-worthwhile trade-off after a certain point. It's very common to see this in that 10 to 12% body fat range. Up until that point, progress is often smooth and relatively predictable, even if it's annoying sometimes due to weight fluctuations and some inconsistencies. But after that point, your body often just says to you, thanks, but no thanks. And so your progress slows down considerably and the diet difficulty escalates disproportionately. Now, this might be something worth stomaching if you want to get photo shoot lean and that's your goal, but otherwise, in most cases, it's just not. And being an experienced dieter entails many things, and it's not just about better adherence or being able to set your calorie deficit up more appropriately. It's also about learning to distinguish between hard and necessarily difficult from destructive. Okay, the next reason for rebounding that's worth talking about is not having a maintenance buffer. So this is what I would basically call falling off a cliff post-diet. The typical pattern is this: the diet ends, it's all great. If the person is lucky enough, they were quick enough to quickly take a few gym selfies before the disaster happens. And then calories jump up, of course. Food variety explodes. A whole bunch of foods get reintroduced into the diet that they were excluded up until that point. And slowly or quickly and surely, the entire structure that supported the person up until that point just collapses. And the problem isn't the change per se, the problem is the rate of change. Just like there is an appropriate rate of weight loss or fat loss, there is also an appropriate rate of reintroducing old structures into a considerably changed life structure that you maintained up until this point during your diet. And the thing is, the structure that you imposed upon yourself while you were dieting, and this includes food choices, this includes a bunch of little rituals around food and your overall lifestyle. You did these things because they helped you lose weight. This meant that even while you had the goal set on the prize and you were progressing towards something in the short term, not having these structures in place would have made it more difficult for you to stay in place. Just because you're no longer in a calorie deficit, it doesn't mean that your physiology and your psychology changed overnight. Physiologically, biologically, your body absolutely needs some time to actually realize that it is no longer dieting. And also mentally and psychologically, all those things that change during dieting, the increased receptiveness to food cues, the ramped up cravings, the increased impulsivity around food, if all of a sudden you reintroduce a whole bunch of more palatable and more calorie dense foods, that is just going to overwhelm the system, both physiologically and psychologically. So most people, when they go through a tough and longer diet, they considerably change their food environment, and that environment was there to support you. Not all of those changes need to be permanent. In fact, hopefully most of those don't need to be permanent, but you absolutely need that structure for a while still to support you. And it's also important to approach the whole period post-diet with some humility. Dieting is often talked about as a skill to master over time, and rightfully so, but the same thing can absolutely be said about maintenance. Maintenance is not dieting but easier. It's a separate skill. So you need to pay some respect to that, and that's why it's important to reintroduce foods slowly, let your appetite some time to renormalize, and also yourself some time to actually learn where and how your appetite stabilizes, and definitely keep some of those supporting structures that you adopted while dieting even while you're maintaining. And over time, of course, you should absolutely experiment with how much you can get away with, how much you can loosen the structures. I mean, ideally, in the long term, you would absolutely live the most fun, flexible, and spontaneous lifestyle that you can while maintaining the body fat percentage that you desire. But this is a long-term thing, and these are some life gains that you will make over time. Over time, you can absolutely aspire to be that person who is bragging about how flexible and relaxed they are with this whole thing, and in the meantime, they can maintain this incredible lean physique. But just like anything else in life that's worth pursuing, this is also one of those things that won't happen overnight. You need to pay your dues over time and earn your badges. A big mistake, and a sad mistake, because this is born out of nothing but noble intentions, but too many people too often become okay with life becoming unlivable while they diet. If hunger and food obsession is constant, if you're more or less developing disordered eating patterns, if you cannot sleep anymore properly, your libido is down, these things don't happen overnight and they just sort of sneak up on people. This is a debt you collect, and your rational self is trying to ignore that debt, but your body will have different ideas for you. And in this context, when you experience an ugly rebound, it's not even so much failure. It's more so just that your body is deciding it for you, that is going to pull you out of this. And this is once again one reason why these rebounds often happen in a manner where you almost don't feel like you have a say in the matter. It's just sort of happening to you. Well, it's because of this. It's because structures in your brain that you have not as much control over are making the decision for you. Now, of course, some dieting veterans who have been through this many times already can sort of push against their body and some of their more primitive brain structures still for a while. But as they say, eventually everybody breaks under torture. And this is once again a piece of skill that's related to awareness that you will master over time as you gain more experience, where expecting even more mental toughness and resilience is just not the right expectation anymore, even if you're capable of it. And so the final takeaway that sort of ties everything together is the mistake is not that the diet to get you lean was hard. The mistake is thinking that the diet was the plan for the rest of your life and not recognizing that the period that comes afterwards is also something to plan for in the first place. And that's the irony of the whole thing, is that the people who regain weight after a diet or regain body fat after a diet, they don't fail because they can't suffer. Often they are the ones who can suffer the most, is that they never learned the art of doing this without suffering. So fat loss is a phase. Maintenance is a practice, and if you don't know how to maintain other than staying in diet mode, then you will only stay there until your body forces an exit. So if you want fat loss to stick, then pick a body fat percentage and a body that you're actually willing to defend. Accept that there will be, of course, discomfort during fat loss, but then accept the challenge of actually building a life that you can live in the long term afterwards. So yeah, guys, that's all I wanted to say in this video. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. If you like the video, then please hit like and subscribe for more content like this. If you'd like to work together with me in a coach-client format or do a consultation with me, then you can do that through my website in the video description. And otherwise, I want to thank you for hanging around up until now, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.